My message is that I have not made a decision about how I will vote because I haven't seen any articles. I am very committed to taking every single thing that comes in front of me seriously. I don't make preemptive decisions about how I'm going to vote on any bill, and I certainly am not going to do that with something that is this serious and important. I've been following everything that's going along, and I'm working my way through the report and reading all the information. I think it's really critical for me to understand what's in front of me before I make any commitment or final decision, and that's what I'm doing.
Have you heard from your Democratic colleagues if there are any plans to potentially introduce any evidence from the Mueller investigation as part of these articles, or do you prefer that it really just focus on Ukraine?
I think right now there's a lot of speculation, and that's why I reserve judgment. I think there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of people saying a lot of different things, and I think that's why it's important for me to wait and see what happens and see what comes out, because that could really impact any decision that I have to make. So,
have there been internal discussions about when you might vote on this? And there's going to be articles. Do you know when you're going to vote on them?
I don't know. I think there's still a lot of speculation about when that's going to be, but it's my sense that they're taking the time to look at what articles are going to be drafted, how they're going to draft those, what the scope of those looks like, and I think that might impact when they finish the articles and when they're drafted and they come before us. But I haven't heard of a date certain.
Let me tell you, it's frustrating for me because that's not what I'm doing. That is not what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. This is not. I didn't run to impeach anybody. I ran to fight for Oklahoma, for education, for healthcare, for these things, and that's where I've been spending my time.
You have a lot of responsibility, and I really have a lot of respect for that. And my question was around the impeachment, but I was here earlier. I heard how you answered that earlier, so I appreciate that. I appreciate the position you're in. But just to give you an idea of how it looks to Joe Blow out here in the Midwest, maybe Joe Blow, that I hear people in Washington talk about anytime they ask a Republican representative, they have a very definite opinion on how they're going to vote and how it's going to go. You listen to the political pundits on both sides; they both have very definite opinions on how it should go, and they make very good cases for or against either way. The only people that are undecided are the Democratic representatives in Washington. It just looks to me like, I know exactly how Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Nadler, and Adam Schiff are going to vote. They can't tell me that they haven't decided yet. And so just basically looking back from that perspective, that's all. I heard your answer earlier, so that's all I got.
Well, thank you for being here and for your thoughts and your comments. I would like to just add a couple of things to my initial statement to that. As you probably heard at the beginning, I'm an attorney by training. So by nature, and by my training, I feel like it's very important for me to get all the information. And I think it's the job of some of those talking heads and people who are speaking or maybe speaking more for a party or a partisan position to be out in front of things and make strong assertions. But I think it's important when we're dealing with incredibly serious issues that, I've been in, a couple of months ago, I remember I was at a food bank, like volunteering. And in the span of that 2-hour window when I was volunteering, there were like 10 different media alerts that were coming up. And this fact came out, and that fact came out, and this fact came out. The problem with these we know everything and assertions right at the beginning is that it prevents us, I think, sometimes from being intentional and thoughtful, and it gets us into political corners that don't help us solve a lot of the issues.